With Act 3 of Season 18 looming just a stone throws away, the monumental garrisons have finally arrived in the Sea of Thieves, and predictably, we wasted absolutely no time sailing over to investigate. And when I call these garrisons monumental, I'm not just leaning into marketing language. These things have been one of the most talked about features in the community ever since they were teased back in late September of 2025. So expectations were high, possibly too high, but that's not the garrison's fault. That's just the Sea of Thieves community doing what they do best.
I really hope this one's good, guys. We really need something.
Before diving into how they actually feel to play, it's worth laying out what garrisons are supposed to be. Garrisons are a new permanent ambient world feature, meaning they exist in the world at all times rather than rotating like some events. The easiest comparison is Phantom Forts, except taken several steps further. Bigger, taller, more complex, and far more interested in making you climb things. There are two garrisons currently in the Insider version of the game, both located in the Devil's Roar, and each of them are aesthetically different. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be searching the one up north. You can approach them in two ways. You can sail to them naturally in the open world, which rewards you with a fairly substantial haul of loot, or you can dive to them as a raid voyage for a significantly reduced payout. Once you arrive, the encounter unfolds in layers. You scale the outer walls and move along the ramparts, taking on waves of skeletons while navigating an environment packed with traps, some of which will happily kill you, others that you can turn against your enemies if you're paying attention. The objective is to locate a series of levers and pulleys that open rampart tower doors, which then unlock additional towers, which eventually grants you access to the main garrison structure. From there, the action shifts inward. More skeleton waves, skeleton keymasters, locked internal chambers, and a slow push toward the final vault. It all ends with opening an actual vault. Ah yes, war. War never changes. Now, credit where it's absolutely due, the positives here are strong. As expected, the art and design team have completely knocked it out of the park. This shouldn't be surprising at this point, but it's still impressive. The garrisons look incredible. Anyone claiming these are just a reskinned fortress is either willfully being obtuse or hasn't actually gone inside one. The central garrison alone features 6 vertical levels, and the interior layout is vastly different from anything we've seen in Phantom Forts. And that's just the interior. Externally, the garrisons are visually striking and immediately readable, the scale sells the fantasy and the silhouettes stand out on the horizon, and the entire structure feels purpose-built rather than assembled from familiar pieces. Trap placement is thoughtful rather than random, harpoons are positioned in ways that clearly encourage smart loot movement, and the overall layout subtly pushes players toward using tools like the harpoon gun rather than brute forcing everything like it's a Gold Hoarder vault from 2018. There's a strong sense of intentional design throughout. The encounter flows naturally, the visual language is consistent, and the environment supports the mechanics instead of working against them. From a design standpoint, it's hard to poke holes in it. These garrisons are polished, cohesive, and some of the strongest PvE spaces added to the game in a long while. There's also a layer of mystery woven in, new skeleton runes appear throughout, environmental storytelling hints at what skeletons get up to in their downtime, and there's some genuinely juicy lore tucked away in journals. More about that at launch. They're also fantastic for supplies, reliable cursed cannonballs, the occasional stack of wraith balls if luck is on your side, and a healthy stock of resources.
Nice!
Each fort includes a rowboat for easier loot hauling, pointed completely the wrong way, of course. Good luck making a quick getaway. And while a keg rowboat is great for thieves looking to swipe a haul, it's not exactly helping the crew who actually cleared the place. I'm not complaining, just observing. As a PvE space though, it's undeniably well thought out. Nearly every element feels considered. It's also one of the most in-depth additions we've had since Season 15, which admittedly isn't the fiercest competition. If the last couple of years felt like chewing on plain pasta, this is at least someone handing you a splash of pickle juice for flavor. So yes, it has flaws, and you already know the word that's coming.
Execution! Nice!
For anyone who missed it, garrisons were delayed on Insiders because the team weren't happy with the pacing. They wanted it to feel more like a siege. And I keep coming back to that word, siege, because I'm genuinely struggling to see it in the current form. Yes, you harpoon up the ramparts at the start, which is a nice touch and a cool visual moment, but after that, the fantasy kind of falls away. Once on the ramparts, it settles into a familiar rhythm: open a door, clear waves of skeletons, wait for the orange named ones to spawn, open another door, repeat the process until the loot room unlocks. To be clear, the loot in the build I played was placeholder, so I'm not judging the rewards yet. That's a separate conversation. This is purely about the experience of playing it. And that's where the frustration creeps in. Sea of Thieves already has so many incredible mechanics that barely get used outside of Tall Tales. There are systems right there that could elevate encounters like this from solid to unforgettable. Imagine a magical barrier similar to the mermaid statue shields in the Pirate's Life Tall Tales, forcing crews to destroy external towers, much like in The Legend of the Veil, before being able to breach the walls and get inside. Imagine having to use coordinated cannon fire from your ship to blast open specific sections, or physically hauling kegs into position to crack fortified doors. Instead of keys dropping from mini-bosses, why not rotating combination puzzles like the Heart of Fire Tall Tale, where you need to find the cipher hidden somewhere in the fort? Mechanics that create teamwork, communication, and variation. And this isn't just aimed at Garrisons, this is about the broader pattern over the last few years. So many world events boil down to the same loop: shoot waves until something stronger spawns, defeat it, collect a key, unlock the vault. It works, it's functional, it's accessible, but it's also predictable. Accessibility shouldn't automatically mean stripping encounters down to their most basic form. That's what makes this sting a bit more, because Garrisons themselves are beautifully made, the art team delivered, the atmosphere is strong, the layout is thoughtful, the resource spread is generous, there's environmental storytelling, mystery, hidden rooms, journals to dig into. The space feels alive. From the outside, it promises depth. But once you're inside and the doors start opening, it becomes clear that most of the depth is surface level. It's 10 miles wide and 1 inch deep. And an event like this, or any event for that matter, shouldn't rely on its loot, or its lore, or its aesthetic to carry it. Those are bonuses. The foundation has to be replayable and fun. And you will have fun the first few times. I did. It's new, it's different scenery, it feels fresh in the moment. But after sitting with it, thinking it over, imagining running it repetitively weeks or months from now, it's hard to see it becoming a staple, especially when they're positioned far off to one side of the map, which already makes it feel less likely to be organically contested or stumbled upon. And with such a short window left for feedback and iteration, meaningful structure changes feel unlikely. Bugs can be fixed, loot can be rebalanced, numbers can be tweaked, but the core loop, that's much harder to rework this late. So there's a real risk it ends up joining the pile of visually impressive content that players try for a while and then quietly move on from. Another gorgeous space that ultimately feels like an elaborate door opening simulator. All that said, I'll end on something we can all agree on. Whether you're brand new and still figuring out which end of the blunderbuss is which, a veteran who's sunk an unreasonable amount of hours into the seas, or someone who swears the game is terrible yet never misses an update video, there is one undeniable victory here. One thing that we can all agree on. No geysers. Subscribe. And like. Okay, bye.
Nice!